People say accountants are boring. They never met my wife or her Instagram. I'm Aaron Whitmore, 43 years old, senior accountant at Henderson & Associates, and I've spent the last 15 years balancing books that actually balance. Unlike my marriage, which has been hemorrhaging red ink for months. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Aaron, honey, could you grab the champagne from the garage fridge? Lena calls from our marble-countered kitchen, her voice dripping with that fake sweetness she reserves for her followers, and apparently now for me when she needs something. I watch her arrange artisanal cheese on a board that costs more than most people's car payments. She's wearing a dress that screams, "Look at me," in a shade of coral that matches her freshly done nails. Everything about Lena Carver Whitmore is curated, filtered, and designed for maximum likes. Which champagne? I ask, knowing she'll give me that look, the one that says I should already know these things if I paid attention to her content. The Dom Perignon, obviously. It's for the reveal. She doesn't look up from her phone as she adjusts the cheese board for the 15th time, snapping photos from different angles. The reveal. Right. Tonight's party isn't just another excuse for Lena to gather her influencer friends and drink expensive wine on our dime. It's the launch of her partnership with some skincare company that promises to make 40-year-old women look 25 again. The irony isn't lost on me. Lena's been acting like she's 25 for months. I head to the garage, passing through our living room where everything is white, gray, or some shade of beige that Lena calls sophisticated. The house looks like a showroom, which makes sense since it basically is one. Every corner is a potential backdrop for her lifestyle content. The garage is my sanctuary, the one place Lena never bothers to photograph. It's where I keep my tools, my old college textbooks, and apparently now, overpriced champagne for parties celebrating my wife's latest attempt to monetize our marriage. As I grab the bottle, my phone buzzes. A notification from our shared cloud storage. Weird. I set up that account years ago for family photos and important documents. Lena barely knows how to use it, but there it is. A new album titled Brand Trip, Miami. My finger hovers over the notification. Lena went to Miami 2 weeks ago for what she called a collaboration opportunity. She came back with a tan, new lingerie I never saw her wear, and an attitude that made our house feel even colder than usual. I tap the notification. The first photo loads, and my world shifts sideways. Lena, in a hotel room that definitely isn't the budget place she claimed the company booked. She's laughing, champagne glass raised, wearing a robe that's falling off her shoulder. But it's not the luxury accommodations that make my chest tighten. It's the man next to her. Colt Harmon, freelance photographer, all stubbled jaw and artfully messy hair. I know Colt from Lena's social circle. He's the guy who takes those candid shots that somehow always make everyone look like they're starring in a romantic movie. He's married to Jenna, a no-nonsense nurse who actually works for a living instead of posing with products she doesn't use. I swipe to the next photo, then the next. Each one tells a story I don't want to read but can't stop consuming. Lena and Colt by the pool, Lena and Colt at dinner, Lena and Colt in what's clearly the same hotel bed, though they are careful to keep it just suggestive enough to maintain plausible deniability. The timestamps don't lie, though. These photos span 3 days. The same 3 days Lena told me she was too busy with meetings to call. Aaron, where's that champagne? Lena's voice cuts through my shock. I screenshot every photo, my accountant's mind automatically creating a file, organizing evidence. Then I delete the notification and close the app, slipping my phone back into my pocket. When I return to the kitchen, Lena is touching up her lipstick in her phone's camera. She looks beautiful. She always does. That's never been our problem. Our problem is that somewhere along the way, she decided being beautiful was enough. Being married was just another brand partnership. Perfect timing, she says, taking the champagne without looking at me. Mara and Victoria should be here any minute, and Colt's bringing his camera for some content shots. Of course he is. Should be a great night, I say, and I mean it, though not for the reasons she thinks. The doorbell rings, and Lena practically bounces toward the door. I watch her go, noting how she checks her reflection in every surface she passes. The woman I married 20 years ago used to laugh at people like that. Mara arrives first, all blonde highlights and designer handbag, followed immediately by Victoria, who air kisses Lena like they're old friends, instead of competitors in the same ridiculous game. Behind them comes Colt, carrying enough camera equipment to film a movie. Aaron? Colt grins at me with the confidence of a man who thinks he's gotten away with something. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for letting me crash the party. I shake his hand, noting how he holds eye contact just a beat too long, like he's testing me. Wouldn't miss it, I say. I love watching Lena work. And I do. I'm about to watch her work harder than she ever has. The party fills up quickly with the usual suspects: lifestyle bloggers, wannabe influencers, and a handful of actual successful people who somehow got caught up in Lena's orbit. I play the dutiful husband, refilling drinks and making small talk while Lena holds court in the living room. "You're so lucky," Mara gushes to Lena, loud enough for everyone to hear. "I mean, look at this house. Look at your husband. Look at your life. It's like a fairy tale." Lena laughs, the sound bright and hollow. "Oh, you know what they say. Every woman should cheat at least once in her life. It keeps things interesting." The room goes quiet for a heartbeat before everyone laughs, assuming it's a joke. But I catch the way Colt's camera stops clicking for a moment, the way Victoria raises an eyebrow, the way Lena's cheeks flush just slightly. I excuse myself and head to my home office, closing the door behind me. From my desk drawer, I pull out an envelope I prepared this afternoon, after I'd had time to process what I'd seen. Inside are printed copies of every photo from Miami, along with a single sheet of paper. I return to the party, envelope in hand. Lena is in full performance mode now, describing her skincare routine to a captivated audience while Colt captures every angle. "Lena," I say, stepping into the circle, "could I have a word?" She looks annoyed at the interruption, but her influencer smile never wavers. "Of course, honey. What is it?" I hand her the envelope. "Just a little something I put together, for your brand." She opens it right there, in front of everyone, probably expecting some sweet note of support, or maybe paperwork for a surprise gift. Instead, her face goes white as she sees the photos. Her hands shake as she reaches the final document: divorce papers, already filed, already served. The room is silent now. Even Colt has stopped taking pictures. "Aaron," Lena whispers, her voice barely audible. "What is this?" I lean down and kiss her cheek, speaking loud enough for everyone to hear. "It's called accountability, sweetheart. I learned it in accounting school." I straighten up and look around the room at all the shocked faces. Don't let me stop the party, everyone. Lena's got some great content to work with now. As I head for the door, I hear Lena's voice crack behind me. "Aaron, wait. We can talk about this." I pause at the threshold and turn back. "We did talk about it, Lena, in Miami, through your photos." The last thing I see before I leave is Colt's face, all the cocky confidence drained out of it, and Lena clutching the divorce papers like they might disappear if she holds them tight enough. Outside in my car, I sit for a moment in the quiet darkness. Through the windows, I can see the party dissolving into chaos, people clustering around Lena, phones coming out to capture the drama. I start the engine and drive away from the house I've called home for 15 years. Tomorrow, the real audit begins. The Henderson & Associates office building looks the same as always on Monday morning, glass and steel reaching toward a gray Seattle sky, filled with people who understand that numbers don't lie, unlike wives. I'm at my desk by 7 a.m., 2 hours before anyone else arrives. I've always been an early riser, but today I have work to do that requires privacy. My computer hums to life, and I open the first of several files I've been building since Saturday night. Doug Martinez slides into the office at 7:30, clutching a coffee that could probably fuel a small aircraft. Doug runs our IT department, which mostly means he fixes printers and pretends to care when partners complain about slow internet. But Doug has skills that go beyond basic tech support, skills he developed during a brief stint at a cybersecurity firm before deciding he preferred the steady paycheck of accounting. "You look like hell," Doug says, settling at his desk across from mine. "Thanks. That's exactly the look I was going for." "Rough weekend?" He's trying to sound casual, but I can tell he's fishing. The Henderson office thrives on gossip, and my marital drama probably made the rounds before I even got home Saturday night. "Educational weekend," I correct. "Doug, I need a favor." He leans back in his chair, studying my face. "What kind of favor?" "The legal kind. The kind that helps a man understand exactly how his joint accounts have been used over the past 6 months." Doug's expression shifts from curiosity to understanding. "Ah, that kind of favor." I slide a piece of paper across to his desk. "These are the account numbers. I need to know every transaction, every merchant, every location, especially anything that happened during the dates I've highlighted." He glances at the paper, then back at me. "Aaron, you know I can't just—" "You're not hacking anything," I interrupt. "These are my accounts. My name is on every one of them. I just need help organizing the data in a way that tells a story." Doug considers this, then nods, slowly. "What kind of story are we telling?" "The kind where expenses marked as business travel turn out to be romantic getaways. the kind where equipment purchases are actually lingerie and jewelry for someone who isn't married to the account holder. Jesus, Aaron, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Be thorough. By 9 a.m., Doug has pulled transaction records that paint a picture clearer than any Instagram filter. Hotel charges in Miami that match the dates of Lena's business trip. Dinner receipts for 2 at restaurants that definitely weren't serving business meetings. A jewelry purchase from Tiffany that I never saw come home. But the real smoking gun is a charge from 3 months ago. A weekend at a boutique hotel in Vancouver, during a time when Lena told me she was visiting her sick aunt in Portland. The same weekend, Colt posted photos of the Vancouver skyline on his Instagram. This is good, I tell Doug, printing out everything. This is very good. What are you going to do with it? I'm already reaching for my phone. I'm going to share it with people who need to know. The first call I make is to Glow Skin Cosmetics, the company that just partnered with Lena. I ask to speak with their brand management department and get transferred to a woman named Jennifer, who sounds like she hasn't had enough coffee yet. Hi, Jennifer. This is Aaron Whitmore. I'm calling about your new brand partnership with Lena Carver. Oh, yes. We're so excited about that collaboration. Lena's aesthetic is exactly what we're looking for. Is this about the contract details? Actually, it's about brand integrity. I wanted to make sure you were aware of some photos that are circulating from Lena's recent Miami trip. There's a pause. What kind of photos? The kind that show your new brand ambassador in compromising situations with a man who isn't her husband. I'd hate for that to reflect poorly on your family-friendly brand. Another pause, longer this time. Could you send me more information about this? Absolutely. I'll email you everything within the hour. I hang up and immediately dial the next number on my list, Lux Lifestyle Magazine, who featured Lena in their Marriage Goals article just 2 months ago. Then I call Wellness Weekly, who quoted her extensively in their piece about maintaining passion in long-term relationships. By lunchtime, I've made 12 calls and sent 18 emails, each one professionally worded and backed up with photographic evidence. I'm not being vindictive, I'm being informative. These companies built partnerships with Lena based on her image as a devoted wife and lifestyle guru. They deserve to know the truth about their investment. My phone rings at 1 p.m. Lena's name flashes on the screen. Hello, Lena. Aaron, what the hell do you think you're doing? Her voice is shaking, either from anger or panic. Probably both. I'm having lunch. Tuna sandwich from the deli downstairs. You should try it. It's honest food. Don't be cute with me. Glow Skin just called. They're reassessing our partnership. Do you have any idea what you've done? I've provided accurate information to your business partners. I thought that's what you'd want. Transparency in your brand. This is insane, Aaron. You can't just destroy my career because you're upset. I'm not destroying anything, Lena. I'm just making sure everyone has the same information I do. You know, like those photos from Miami, the ones you accidentally uploaded to our shared cloud. The silence on the other end stretches so long, I wonder if she's hung up. Aaron, she finally says, her voice smaller now. We need to talk. We are talking. In person, please. This doesn't have to get ugly. I look around the office, at Doug pretending not to listen, at the stack of evidence on my desk, at the life I've built through honest work and careful planning. It's already ugly, Lena. I'm just making sure everyone can see it clearly. Before she can respond, I hang up and turn back to my computer. I have more calls to make. The second phase of my audit involves a different kind of outreach. I find Jenna Harmon's number in Lena's phone contacts. Yes, I still have access to our shared account, and send her a text from a number Doug helped me set up. Hi, Jenna. You don't know me, but I think you should know that your husband Colt has been having an affair with a married woman named Lena Carver. I have photos if you're interested in the truth. The response comes back in less than 5 minutes. Send them. I forward everything, the Miami photos, the Vancouver hotel receipts, even screenshots of text messages between Lena and Colt that I found in her backup files. Messages that leave no doubt about the nature of their relationship. Jenna's next text makes me smile. Thank you for this. That bastard is going to pay. By 3 p.m., my phone is buzzing constantly. Lena's friends are calling, her business partners are calling, even her mother calls to ask what's happening. I let them all go to voicemail, but at 4 p.m., someone shows up in person. Aaron Whitmore? The woman standing at my desk is tall, athletic, with the kind of no-nonsense bearing that comes from dealing with serious situations. I'm Jenna Harmon. Doug looks up from his computer, eyebrows raised. I gesture toward the conference room. Mrs. Harmon, I wasn't expecting you. Call me Jenna, and I wanted to thank you in person for opening my eyes. She sits across from me, her hands folded calmly on the table. I've suspected for months, but Colt is good at making me feel crazy when I ask questions. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Don't be. I'm glad I found out at all. She leans forward. I saw what you did to Lena's sponsors today. Very thorough. Just sharing information. Well, I'd like to share some information too, about Colt. Her smile is sharp as a scalpel. See, my husband thinks he's smarter than everyone else, but he's not smart enough to hide his financial records from someone who's been managing our household budget for 12 years. She slides a folder across the table. Colt's been using our joint credit card to pay for his affairs. Hotels, dinners, gifts, even a weekend trip to Napa with some other woman last year. Not Lena. Your wife isn't his first victim. I open the folder and scan the documents. It's a forensic accountant's dream. Every transaction documented, categorized, and cross-referenced with dates and locations. This is excellent work, I tell her. I'm a nurse. I believe in evidence-based decisions. She stands up. I also believe in consequences. Colt's about to learn that actions have them. What did you have in mind? Well, for starters, I've already sent these records to his 3 biggest clients, along with the photos you shared. Turns out companies don't like hiring photographers who use business trips to cheat on their wives. I feel a surge of admiration for this woman. That's very thorough. I'm not done. Colt has a big shoot tomorrow for a wedding magazine, something about capturing authentic love. I thought they should know exactly how authentic their photographer really is. We shake hands at the conference room door. It's been a pleasure working with you, Aaron. Likewise, Jenna. As she leaves, Doug appears at my elbow. Damn, man. Remind me never to cheat on my wife. Just remember, the numbers always tell the truth, and I'm very good with numbers. My phone buzzes with another call from Lena. This time, I answer. Aaron, please. You have to stop this. Mara won't even return my calls. Victoria posted something on Instagram about fake friends and real consequences. My whole world is falling apart. Your world was built on lies, Lena. I'm just removing the foundation. But we can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can work it out. You don't have to destroy everything. I look out the window at the Seattle skyline, at all the honest people going about their honest lives. I'm not destroying anything that wasn't already broken. I'm just making sure everyone can see the damage clearly. Aaron. The audit's not over, Lena. Tomorrow we move to Phase 3. I hang up and turn back to my desk. Doug is watching me with something that might be awe. Phase 3? He asks. Phase 3, I confirm. Time to audit the property records. Tuesday morning brings rain and revenge in equal measure. I'm back at my desk by 7 a.m., but this time I'm not alone. Doug arrives with coffee and what looks like a stack of printed emails. You're going to want to see these, he says, spreading the papers across my desk. I set up some Google alerts yesterday for Lena's name, Colt's name, and their business partners. The first email is from Glow Skin Cosmetics' PR department, sent to their entire media list at 6 a.m. Glow Skin Cosmetics has decided to terminate our brand partnership with lifestyle influencer Lena Carver, effective immediately. This decision reflects our commitment to authentic brand representation and family values. The second email is from Lux Lifestyle magazine. We regret to inform our readers that quotes attributed to Lena Carver in our recent Marriage Goals feature do not reflect the editorial standards of our publication. We will be issuing a correction in our next issue. But it's the third email that makes me smile. It's from Colt's biggest client, a high-end wedding photography company. Harmon Creative Services will no longer be providing photography services for Blissful Beginnings weddings. We believe our clients deserve photographers who understand the sanctity of marriage vows. This is better than Christmas morning, I tell Doug. It gets better. Check your phone. I have 17 missed calls from Lena and a text message that's mostly crying face emojis. But there's also a message from an unknown number. This is Jenna. Can you meet for coffee? I have an update on the Colt situation. We meet at a small cafe downtown, the kind of place where nobody cares about Instagram-worthy latte art. Jenna looks tired but determined, like a surgeon who's been in the OR all night but isn't done saving lives. Colt came home last night, she says without preamble. Actually, he tried to come home. I'd changed the locks. How did he take that? About as well as you'd expect from a man who's used to charming his way out of consequences. She sips her coffee. He stood on the front lawn, yelling about his rights as a homeowner until the neighbors started filming him. Mrs. Peterson from next door posted it to the neighborhood Facebook group. Ouch. Oh, it gets better. This morning he called to tell me he's staying at Lena's house. Apparently she's the only person who still thinks he's worth the trouble. I process this information. They're together? Publicly? As of about 8 hours ago, yes. Which brings me to why I wanted to meet with you. Jenna leans forward. I think we can use this. She pulls out her phone and shows me a screenshot from Lena's Instagram story, posted at 11 p.m. last night. It's a photo of 2 wine glasses on my kitchen counter, with the caption, "Sometimes the universe brings you exactly what you need when you need it most. Blessed, new beginnings, authentic." She's posting about their affair from your house? It appears so. And look at this. Jenna swipes to show me another screenshot, this one from Colt's Instagram. It's a black and white photo of a woman's silhouette, clearly Lena, with the caption, "Real recognizes real. Drew no filter, hashido, truth new chapter." They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Which is perfect for us, Jenna says, because I've been thinking about your property situation. She's right to bring it up. The house is in both our names, but I've been paying the mortgage, utilities, and maintenance for 15 years, while Lena contributed what she called sweat equity through her decorating and social media presence. Now she's using my home as a love nest and broadcasting it to her followers. What did you have in mind? Well, I happen to know that Colt's car, the BMW convertible he's so proud of, is parked in your driveway. And I happen to know where you can get about 50 pounds of biodegradable glitter and some industrial-strength expanding foam. I stare at her. You want to sabotage his car? I want to make a statement about the consequences of using other people's property for your affairs. She grins. Plus, glitter is nearly impossible to completely remove from car upholstery. It's the gift that keeps on giving. An hour later, we're at a party supply store buying glitter in every color they have. The expanding foam comes from a construction supply shop, where the clerk assumes we're working on some kind of home improvement project. Which, in a way, we are. This feels very therapeutic, Jenna says as we load supplies into my car. It feels very justified, I agree. We drive to my house where I've paid every bill and fixed every problem for 15 years, and park down the street. Colt's BMW is indeed in my driveway, positioned like he owns the place. He left the windows cracked, Jenna observes. How considerate of him. Working quickly, we pour glitter through the window gaps, covering every surface of the interior. The expanding foam goes into the exhaust pipe and the air intake. We finish with a note tucked under the windshield wiper. For services rendered, consider this your performance review. Management. As we're walking back to my car, my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. Aaron Whitmore, this is Detective Ray Lyle with Seattle PD. I'm calling about a disturbance complaint filed by your wife. My pressure spikes. What kind of disturbance? She's claiming you've been harassing her and her business associates. Says you're making threatening phone calls and interfering with her work. I look at Jenna, who's listening intently. Detective, I haven't made any threatening calls. I've simply been sharing factual information with companies that have business relationships with my wife. Information they have a right to know. That's what I figured. See, I know Lena Carver. My wife follows her on Instagram. And I know you, Aaron. You've been doing my taxes for 3 years. You're not exactly the threatening type. I feel some of the tension leave my shoulders. So what happens now? Now I file a report that says I investigated the complaint and found no evidence of harassment or threats. But Aaron? Yeah? Maybe keep the information sharing to a minimum for a while. Let the consequences play out naturally. Understood, Detective. After I hang up, Jenna and I sit in my car watching my house. Through the living room window, we can see movement. Lena pacing back and forth, probably on the phone, trying to do damage control. She's scared, Jenna observes. She should be. Her entire income stream just dried up in 24 hours. What about Colt? Colt's about to discover that actions have consequences, and that glitter is forever. As if summoned by our conversation, the front door opens and Colt appears, car keys in hand. He's wearing the kind of artfully rumpled clothes that probably cost more than most people's rent, and he has the confident stride of a man who thinks the world owes him something. That confidence evaporates the moment he sees his car. What the hell? His voice carries clearly across the yard. He pulls open the driver's door and a cloud of glitter explodes outward, coating him from head to toe in sparkles of every color. Jenna starts laughing, a sound of pure joy that's infectious. I find myself grinning as Colt tries to brush glitter off his clothes, only succeeding in spreading it around more. He tries to start the car. The engine turns over, but immediately starts making a sound like a fading wail as the expanding foam does its work. Black smoke begins pouring from the exhaust pipe. Oh no, Lena's voice echoes from the doorway. She's wearing one of my old t-shirts like it's designer loungewear, her hair perfectly tousled for the cameras that aren't there. Did you do this? Colt demands, advancing on her with glitter falling off him like toxic snow. Of course I didn't do this. Why would I destroy your car? Then who? He stops, his gaze finding my car parked down the street. Even from this distance, I can see the moment he realizes who's responsible. He starts walking toward us, still shedding glitter with every step. Jenna rolls down her window. How's the car running, Colt? She calls out sweetly. You psychotic snake. That's a $60,000 car. Was, she corrects. Now it's a $60,000 art project. I call it Consequences of Adultery in Sparkle Vision. Colt reaches my car and pounds on the roof. Aaron, get out here and face me like a man. I roll down my window. I'm right here, Colt. No need to shout. You destroyed my car. I improved your car. Added some personality, some pizzazz, like you added to my marriage. His face is turning red underneath the glitter. This is insane. You can't just destroy people's property. You're absolutely right, I say calmly. People shouldn't destroy other people's property, or marriages, or trust. But here we are. Lena has joined us now, her phone out and recording, probably trying to document this for some kind of victim narrative she's building. Aaron, please, she says. This has gone far enough. We're adults. We can work this out. We are working it out, I tell her, very efficiently. Detective Lyle's patrol car turns onto our street, moving slowly. He parks behind my car and gets out, taking in the scene. Colt covered in glitter, Lena filming everything, me sitting calmly in my driver's seat. Afternoon, folks. We got another complaint about a disturbance. Officer, these people destroyed my car. Colt gestures wildly at his BMW, which is now making sounds like a garbage disposal full of marbles. Detective Lyle walks over to examine the vehicle. Huh. Looks like someone had some fun with party supplies. He turns back to Colt. This your car, sir? Yes. And where exactly is it parked? Colt pauses, suddenly realizing the problem. Well, it's in the driveway, but... Aaron's driveway, Detective Lyle clarifies. On Aaron's property, where you don't live and weren't invited. But Lena? Lena doesn't own this property either, do you, Mrs. Carver? The detective's tone is professionally neutral, but I catch the slight emphasis on Mrs. Carver instead of Mrs. Whitmore. Lena stops recording. It's complicated. It's really not, I say, getting out of my car. Detective, I'd like this man's vehicle removed from my property, and I'd like him to stay away from my house. That seems reasonable. Detective Lyle turns to Colt. Sir, you're going to need to have your car towed, and you're going to need to find somewhere else to park it that isn't private property where you're not welcome. Colt looks like he wants to argue, but even he can see how this plays out. He's trespassing, his car is disabled, and he's covered in craft store glitter while making threats. This isn't over, he says to me. You're right, I agree. It's not. Tomorrow we move to Phase 4. As Detective Lyle escorts Colt away from my property, Jenna and I share a look of satisfaction. Phase 4? She asks. Phase 4, I confirm. Time to audit the social connections. Wednesday morning starts with a phone call that makes my coffee taste even better than usual. Aaron, it's Detective Lyle. Thought you'd want to know. Your friend Colt tried to file a vandalism report against you last night. Tried to. Hard to file a credible report when you're trespassing on someone else's property. Plus, the glitter really undermined his credibility. My sergeant took one look at him and started laughing. I'm at my desk early again, but today feels different. The initial shock and anger have crystallized into something colder and more focused. Lena and Colt want to play games with other people's lives? Fine, but they are about to learn that I didn't become a senior accountant by being bad at strategy. Doug arrives with his usual coffee and an unusual grin. Check your email, he says. The entertainment just keeps coming. The first email in my inbox is from Mara, Lena's former best friend and fellow influencer. It's addressed to me, which is strange since Mara and I have never exchanged more than polite small talk at parties. Aaron, I hope you don't mind me reaching out directly. I wanted you to know that I had no idea about Lena and Colt. If I had known, I would have told you immediately. I believe in marriage and loyalty, and what they did is unforgivable. I'm cutting all ties with both of them, professionally and personally. I hope you can find peace in this difficult time. Mara. The second email is from Victoria, Lena's other close friend. Aaron, I'm appalled by Lena's behavior. She betrayed not just you, but all of us who believed in her brand and her message. I've removed all photos with her from my social media and will not be associating with her going forward. You deserve so much better. Looks like Lena's support network is crumbling, Doug observes, reading over my shoulder. Influencer friendships are transactional, I explain. When your brand becomes toxic, your friends become strangers. But it's the third email that really catches my attention. It's from someone named Nate Morrison, and the subject line reads, "Information you need to know." Aaron, you don't know me, but I've been working as Lena's business manager for the past 6 months. Mostly that means I help her organize sponsorship deals and manage her content calendar. I'm reaching out because I can't stomach what I've been asked to do. Lena has been planning to claim that you've been emotionally abusive throughout your marriage. She's been building a narrative about you being controlling with money, isolating her from friends, and threatening her career. She was going to use this story to justify the affair and try to get a more favorable divorce settlement. I have emails and recorded phone calls where she discusses this strategy with Colt. I thought you should know what you're up against. I quit working for her yesterday. I read the email twice, then forward it to my lawyer. Jesus, Doug says. She was going to frame you? She was going to try. I'm already reaching for my phone. Good thing we documented everything first. I call Nate Morrison directly. He answers on the second ring. Aaron, I was hoping you'd reach out. Nate, I appreciate you sending that email. Can you be more specific about what Lena was planning? She had a whole timeline worked out. She was going to claim that you'd been financially abusive, controlling all the money, monitoring her spending, that kind of thing. Then she was going to say that when she found the courage to have an emotional affair, you became threatening and unstable. An emotional affair? That was her phrase. She figured if she called it emotional instead of physical, it would sound less damaging to her brand, like she was the victim of a loveless marriage who found comfort with a friend. I think about those hotel photos, about the jewelry charges, about Colt currently sleeping in my bed. That's quite a spin. She had Colt convinced it would work. He was going to back up her story, say he witnessed you being controlling and aggressive. Was? Well, that was before his car got glittered and his clients started dropping him. Now he's mostly focused on trying to salvage his own reputation. This is better than I hoped. Nate, would you be willing to provide this information to my attorney? Absolutely. I've already compiled everything. Emails, text messages, recorded phone calls where she discusses the strategy. I believe in accountability. After I hang up, I sit back in my chair and consider the situation. Lena thought she was playing chess while I was playing checkers. She had no idea I was actually playing Audit, a game where documentation and evidence matter more than charm and manipulation. My phone buzzes with a text from Jenna. Colt's car got towed this morning. He's been calling me non-stop demanding I pay for the repairs. I told him to call his girlfriend. I text back, how much are the repairs? Mechanic says at least $8,000. The glitter got into everything, and the foam damaged the engine. Might be totaled. Excellent. Phase 4 is ready to launch. Phase 4 requires a different kind of preparation. Instead of financial records or email evidence, I need something more theatrical. Something that will make a statement Lena's remaining followers can't ignore. I leave work early and drive to my house. Lena's car is in the driveway, my driveway, and I can see movement through the windows. She's probably trying to figure out how to rebuild her brand from the ashes of her credibility. But I'm not here for a confrontation, I'm here for reconnaissance. I park down the street and call a locksmith. Hi, I need to have the locks changed on my house. Today, if possible. Sure thing. What's the address? An hour later, a cheerful man named Pete is installing new lock bolts on all the exterior doors of my house. Through the windows, I can see Lena pacing around, phone pressed to her ear, probably trying to convince someone, anyone, to work with her. All set, Pete says, handing me the new keys. Nobody's getting in without your permission. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. I wait until evening, then drive back to the house. Lena's car is gone, but there are lights on inside. Colt must be there, probably trying to figure out how to pay for his car repairs. I use my new key to enter through the front door. Hello? Colt's voice calls from the kitchen. Lena, is that you? Not quite, I say, walking into the kitchen where Colt is standing in front of my refrigerator, eating food I paid for while wearing clothes that probably cost more than most people's monthly salary. He spins around, a piece of my leftover pizza halfway to his mouth. Aaron, what are you doing here? I live here. The question is, what are you doing here? Lena said I could stay until I figure out my car situation. Lena doesn't live here anymore, and neither do you. I hold up my phone, which is recording everything. You're trespassing. Come on, man. Be reasonable. I've got nowhere else to go. You've got a wife. Remember Jenna? The woman you're married to? Jenna kicked me out. Can't imagine why. I take a step closer. Colt, I'm going to say this once. Get out of my house. Take nothing that doesn't belong to you, and don't come back. And if I don't? Then I call the police, show them this recording of you admitting you're here without permission, and watch them arrest you for trespassing. Your choice. For a moment, I think he's going to try to argue or fight. But Colt is fundamentally a coward who's used to charming his way out of problems. When charm doesn't work, he folds. Fine, but this isn't over. You keep saying that. But from where I'm standing, it looks pretty over. I watch him gather his things. Expensive camera equipment, designer clothes, the kind of lifestyle accessories that look impressive on Instagram but don't mean much when you're homeless and unemployed. As he reaches the door, I call out, Colt? He turns back, hope flickering in his eyes like maybe I'm going to offer some kind of olive branch. The pizza you were eating? It's left over from last week. Probably not good anymore. Might want to get your stomach checked. The hope fades, replaced by disgust and anger. He slams the door behind him. I walk through my house, reclaiming each room. In the master bedroom, I strip the sheets and throw them in the trash. In the bathroom, I dispose of Lena's toiletries and makeup. In the living room, I take down the carefully curated photos that were more about her image than our marriage. By the time I'm done, the house feels clean for the first time in months. My phone rings. Lena's name flashes on the screen. Aaron, Colt says you threw him out of the house. I removed a trespasser from my property. That's my house, too. Actually, it's not. Check the deed, check the mortgage, check who's been paying the utilities, the insurance, the property taxes. Your name might be on the paperwork, but this has been my house in every way that matters. You can't just lock me out. I can, and I did. You want to live somewhere with Colt? Find somewhere that isn't my house. Aaron, please. We can work this out. We can go to counseling. We can rebuild our marriage. I made a mistake, but it doesn't have to end everything. I walk to the living room window and look out at my neighborhood. The place where I've been a good neighbor, where I've shoveled sidewalks and helped with block parties and lived an honest life. Lena, you didn't make a mistake. You made a series of deliberate choices over several months. You chose to betray our marriage. You chose to lie to my face. You chose to use our money to fund your affair. And you chose to plan a campaign to destroy my reputation when you got caught. Those aren't mistakes. That's who you are. I can change. Maybe you can, but you'll have to do it somewhere else. I hang up and turn off my phone. Tomorrow is phase 5, and I have planning to do. Thursday morning brings clarity and a plan that feels like justice wearing a 3-piece suit. I'm at my desk by 6 a.m., not because I need to be, but because I want to savor the anticipation of what's coming. Doug arrives with coffee and news. Lena's been calling the office, he says. She tried to convince Janet in HR that you've been having a breakdown and using company resources for personal vendettas. Janet is our office manager, a 60-year-old woman who's seen every kind of workplace drama imaginable and has zero patience for nonsense. How did Janet respond? She told Lena that your work has been exemplary, your behavior has been professional, and that if she calls again, we'll consider it harassment. Doug grins. Then she asked if Lena needed recommendations for marriage counselors. I love Janet. Janet loves you. So does Mr. Heller. He wants to see you in his office at 9. Robert Heller has been the managing partner at Henderson and Associates for 20 years. He's the kind of old-school accountant who believes that character matters more than charisma and that reputation is built one honest transaction at a time. At 9 a.m. sharp, I knock on his office door. Aaron, come in. Sit down. Mr. Heller is behind his desk, but his expression is warmer than usual. I wanted to talk to you about what's been happening. My stomach tightens. Sir? I've been getting calls. From your wife, from some of her friends, even from a photographer who claims you've been harassing him. He leans back in his chair. They seem to think I should fire you for unprofessional conduct. Mr. Heller, I can explain. He holds up a hand. No need. I've known you for 8 years, Aaron. I've watched you handle difficult clients with grace, manage complex audits with precision, and maintain the highest ethical standards even when it would be easier to cut corners. If you're fighting back against people who betrayed you, I have to assume they deserved it. Relief floods through me. Thank you, sir. More than that, I'm promoting you. Senior partner, effective immediately. 20% raise, profit sharing, your own office. He stands and extends his hand. Congratulations. I shake his hand, feeling like the world has shifted in my favor for the first time in months. There's one more thing, Mr. Heller says. Your wife is outside. Security is with her, but she's demanding to see you. She seems agitated. Through Mr. Heller's window, I can see Lena in the parking lot. gesturing wildly at 2 security guards who look like they'd rather be anywhere else. She's wearing the kind of outfit that screams victim-seeking sympathy. Oversized sweater, minimal makeup, hair in a messy bun that probably took an hour to perfect. "Should I call the police?" Mr. Heller asks. "No need. I'll handle this." I take the elevator down to the lobby and walk outside. Lena sees me coming and breaks away from the security guards. "Aaron, finally, these men won't let me into your building. That's because you don't work here and you're not welcome here. I'm your wife. You're my soon-to-be ex-wife. There's a difference." She takes a step closer, and I can see she's been crying. Real tears, not the photogenic kind she uses for her social media posts. "Aaron, please. I lost everything. All my sponsors, all my friends, even my Instagram account got suspended because people keep reporting my posts. I have nothing left." "You have Colt." "Colt's gone. He left yesterday when he realized I can't help his career anymore. He said he never loved me, that I was just a convenient distraction." Her voice cracks. "I lost my marriage for a man who threw me away the moment I became inconvenient." For a split second, I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. "Lena, you didn't lose your marriage. You sold it. For hotel rooms and jewelry and the thrill of deceiving someone who trusted you. I made a mistake. Stop calling it a mistake." My voice is louder than I intended, and the security guards take a step closer. "A mistake is forgetting to pay a bill or burning dinner. You planned an affair, you documented it, you spent our money on it, and then you tried to frame me as abusive to cover your tracks. That's not a mistake. That's a character defect." Lena's face crumples. "So that's it? 20 years of marriage, and you're just going to throw it all away?" "I'm not throwing anything away. I'm just finally seeing it clearly." I turn to walk back into the building, then pause. "Oh, and Lena, tomorrow is Saturday. I'm having a block party. You're not invited." The block party idea came to me Tuesday night as I was sitting in my reclaimed house thinking about community and consequences. Lena has spent years treating our neighbors as props for her lifestyle content, posing in front of their gardens and using their children as background for her authentic family moments posts. They've been polite about it because they're good people, but I suspect they're tired of being extras in someone else's performance. So I sent invitations to every house on our street. "Aaron Whitmore invites you to a neighborhood appreciation party Saturday at 2 p.m. Food, drinks, and honest conversation. Come as you are." By Friday evening, I've gotten RSVPs from 32 neighbors, 3 local businesses who want to sponsor the event, and Detective Lyle, who asked if he could bring his wife. Saturday morning, I'm setting up tables in my front yard when Jenna arrives with a cooler full of beer and a smile that could power the neighborhood. "This is brilliant," she says, surveying the decorations. A celebration of authentic community right in front of the house where Lena staged all her fake content. I prefer to think of it as an audit of social connections. Turns out mine are stronger than I realized. By 2 p.m., my front yard is full of neighbors I've known for years, but never really talked to. There's Mrs. Peterson from next door, who brings homemade cookies and stories about her grandchildren. There's Mike from across the street, who offers to help me fix the fence that's been sagging since last winter. There's the Johnson family from the corner house, whose kids Lena used to borrow for her family fun photo shoots. "Aaron," Mrs. Peterson says, pulling me aside, "I hope you don't mind me saying this, but we're all proud of how you've handled this situation. That woman treated this neighborhood like her personal photo studio for years." "She never even learned our names," adds Mike. "Just pointed her camera at our houses whenever she needed a backdrop." At 3 p.m., just as the party is hitting its stride, a familiar car turns onto our street. Lena's white SUV moves slowly, like she's looking for a parking spot that doesn't exist because the entire block is full of cars belonging to people who actually live here. The conversation quiets as people notice the car. Lena parks at the end of the street and gets out, wearing a sundress that probably cost more than most people's monthly grocery budget. She walks toward my house with the determined stride of someone who's convinced she can charm her way back into relevance. "Aaron," she calls out, her voice bright and fake. "What a wonderful party. I hope you don't mind me crashing." The neighbors part like the Red Sea, creating a clear path between Lena and me. The silence is deafening. "Actually, I do mind," I say clearly. "This is a private party for people who live in this neighborhood. You don't live here anymore." "Don't be silly. This is my neighborhood too. These are my friends." She turns to Mrs. Peterson with her most winning smile. "Helen, how are you? I love what you've done with your garden this year." Mrs. Peterson's expression could freeze lava. "My name is Margaret, and you've never spoken to me before in your life." Lena's smile falters. She tries Mike next. "And Mike, how's the family?" "They're fine," Mike says coldly. "No thanks to you using my kids as props for your Instagram without asking permission. I watch Lena's confidence crumble as she realizes that none of these people are her friends. They were just background characters in her performance, and now the show is over. Aaron, she says, her voice smaller now, can we please talk privately? We can talk right here. These people have heard all your lies anyway. They deserve to hear the truth. What truth? I pull out my phone and connect it to the portable speaker Doug helped me set up. The truth about who you really are. The first audio file plays clearly through the speaker. It's Lena's voice talking to Colt about her plan to frame me as emotionally abusive. Aaron's such a boring little man. He'll never see it coming. We just have to make it look like I was the victim of his controlling behavior, and I can get the house and half his retirement savings. The neighbor's expressions shift from uncomfortable to disgusted. Lena goes pale. Aaron, where did you get that? From Nate Morrison, your former business manager. The one who quit because he couldn't stomach helping you destroy an innocent man's reputation. I play the second file. This one is Colt's voice. The best part is that Aaron's so pathetic, he probably won't even fight back. We can take everything, and he'll just sit there and take it like the weak little accountant he is. A laughter ripples through the crowd, but it's not friendly laughter. It's the sound of people who've seen a bully get exposed. That's enough, Lena shouts. You can't just humiliate me in front of everyone. I'm not humiliating you, I say calmly. I'm just playing your own words back to you. If you're humiliated, it's because you're hearing yourself clearly for the first time. Mrs. Peterson steps forward. Young lady, I think you should leave. Now. This is ridiculous. Lena's voice is getting shrill. Aaron, you're being cruel and vindictive. I'm being honest. For the first time in our marriage, I'm being completely honest about who you are and what you've done. That's when Colt's car, or what's left of it, turns onto our street. The BMW is a shadow of its former self. The glitter is mostly gone, but it's left behind a rainbow of scratches and stains that no amount of detailing will ever fully remove. The engine sounds like it's fading a slow, mechanical passing, and there's still foam residue around the exhaust pipe. Colt parks behind Lena's SUV and gets out, surveying the block party with the expression of a man who's just realized he's walked into his own funeral. Lena, he calls out, we need to talk. The neighbors turn to watch this new development like it's the world's most entertaining reality show. Not now, Colt, Lena hisses. Yes, now. He strides toward us, and I can see he's desperate. You said you had money. You said you could help me fix my car and get my clients back. I don't have any money. Aaron froze all the accounts. Then what good are you to me? The question hangs in the air like a toxic cloud. Even Lena seems stunned by the casual cruelty of it. What good am I? She repeats. Colt, I left my husband for you. I destroyed my marriage, my career, my entire life for you. And I destroyed mine for you. My wife won't take me back. My clients won't work with me, and my car is ruined. This whole thing was your idea. My idea? You're the one who said we should be together. I said we should have fun. I never said anything about leaving our spouses. The neighbors are watching this meltdown with the fascination of people witnessing a train wreck in slow motion. Detective Lyle has his phone out, probably recording everything for posterity. So that's it? Lena's voice cracks. You're just going to abandon me like everyone else? Everyone else abandoned you because you're toxic, Colt shouts. I was just too stupid to see it until now. He turns and stalks back to his ruined car, leaving Lena standing alone in front of 32 neighbors who've just watched her get publicly rejected by the man she destroyed her marriage for. The silence stretches until Mrs. Peterson clears her throat. Well, she says dryly, that was illuminating. Lena looks around at all the faces staring at her, not with sympathy or support, but with the cold judgment of people who've seen someone reveal their true character. Aaron, she says, her voice barely a whisper, please, we can still fix this. I look at this woman I was married to for 20 years, this stranger who wore my wife's face while planning my destruction, and I feel nothing but relief that she's no longer my problem. Lena, there's nothing to fix. You made your choices, you lived your truth, and now you get to live with the consequences. That's not cruelty. That's just accounting. She stands there for another moment, probably waiting for someone to offer comfort or support or at least polite sympathy. But the neighbors just stare, and the silence grows heavier, and finally she turns and walks back to her car. As she drives away, the party resumes like nothing happened. People go back to their conversations, their food, their genuine laughter. It's like Lena was never there at all, which, in all the ways that mattered, she never really was. Detective Lyle approaches me with 2 beers and a grin. Aaron, that was the most educational domestic dispute I've ever witnessed. You should consider a career in law enforcement. I think I'll stick with accounting, I tell him. The numbers are more honest than people. Most people, he corrects. Some people are exactly as honest as their numbers. As the sun sets over my neighborhood, my real neighborhood, full of real people who know my name and care about my life, I realize that this isn't the end of my story. It's the beginning of a better chapter, one written in truth instead of lies, built on genuine relationships instead of carefully curated images. The audit is complete, the books are balanced, and for the first time in years, everything adds up perfectly.